being able to solidify it. You know, obviously if you're up 10-0, it's not a big deal, but let's say the score was something different and I need that fall to win. I just want to make sure that I can secure that, and yeah, I just wasn't able to do that, so I'm going to keep working on it.
Compare your experience at Sunkiss with your other training environments you've had in your career.
I've honestly loved every training environment that I've been at. It's funny, a bunch of people were like, oh, you bounce around everywhere, but in my opinion, I can almost always give you the exact reason why I went to a certain place, and then basically when it's time for me to leave, I have very clear confirmation of that, and of just something else that I need or something, you know, it's not just like, oh, I don't like it here and I bounce around. It's more like, I don't know, I could go through the list of all of them, but you know, sometimes I'm in some place where maybe it has all the great wrestling, but it doesn't have the amount of recovery things that I need to make sure that I'm healthy, especially after all the concussions. So when I moved to Arizona, I just kind of had everything that I needed, so I'm there now, and I love it. We have a great group, a bunch of women, great coaches, and great weather.
Your longevity is unbelievable. It seems like you're getting better. You know, you had the head injuries and the trauma, and that usually ends a lot of people's career. You're getting better, right? You're placed in the, you know, you're a bronze medalist, right? I mean, to get better as you get older, how hard is that? You know, Kyle Dake's here. He's one of the older guys now at Spartan. How do you get better as you get older?
Honestly, I just try to pursue excellence in everything I do, and I don't settle for anything. So as long as I'm in this sport, I believe that the best is yet to come, and I'm not at my peak, and the best years aren't behind me. And so I will always continue to evolve and find that one thing or that 1% where I can get better and just keep improving on it.
Helen, when we talked yesterday, you said that you just wanted to see good wrestling from yourself. How do you feel about your performance today?
You know, I feel great about my shape, my conditioning. I had a great lifting program from NeuroFirst One, and then I have Coach Cal at the training lab who does, I think, the best weight cutting, like, you know, prep that there is, and injury recovery and like all these other things. So honestly, he helped me to get this cut and to come in beautifully, and super grateful for that. So I felt great, I felt sharp. You know, the last time I competed was February and January, and I'm definitely a lot better than then. There's some more things I thought I was going to hit or be able to execute that I didn't, so I just need to keep working at it.
Helen, several states have implemented sanctioned girls wrestling. Where do you feel like you played a part in that, and where do you feel, how high do you think women's wrestling can go now?
Yeah, you know, I really think any woman that is stepping on the mat, senior level athlete, cadet, junior, just a young girl, you are part of growing women's wrestling, and you are part of this sport becoming what it is, and for more state sanctions, right? So a state's going to add wrestling when there's girls in that state that are wrestling. So, you know, I know Sally Roberts and Kira Berry and Wrestle Like a Girl, and they had the whole coalition together that was working to add women's wrestling, and they've done a lot of work behind the scenes and at the forefront. And then, you know, I just think all of us girls and women just showing up and stepping on the mat, it you know, sends the message that we want to be here and we want this opportunity, and we're growing. So I think that helps as well.
What can we be doing better to grow women's wrestling?
You know, I think we definitely need to add all 50 states with state-sanctioned wrestling. I think that adding women's wrestling to the Division I program across all states is going to be huge. I mean, there's girls right now that maybe they fall in love with wrestling, but they know that they want to get a scholarship to college, and right now they might not have that option at a D1 school. Maybe some people want to go to the schools that their parents went to, or they want to stay in the state, and if girls wrestling is not at that Division I school or that school that they want to go to, then they're having to choose between sport and their education, whereas the men don't have to choose between sport and their education right now. They're getting to choose both. So I think that's one way that it would help a lot.
How will wrestling build female leaders for the future?
I mean, wrestling builds leaders, period. I think this sport, it just fortifies your character and your attitude and builds resilience and even camaraderie, and just it's going to teach you so much about yourself. And why would you not want that for, you know, the future generation of females and coming up in the sport, especially in a sport with weight cutting and getting stronger? Like, you're going to have to learn a lot about your body. You're going to have to learn about nutrition. You have to learn about, you know, sleeping and eating right. And I think that will also maybe take care of you know, body issues and other things that young girls are dealing with that just shouldn't be such a stressor. And I think, yeah, I think all the women that have come before me, I think, are incredible leaders. So it's already been shown that it can do that.
Talking about being a leader, you've been the young kid on the national team. Now you're kind of the veteran, right? How's that? What's it like to be the leader of this group going?
Yeah, I turned 17 the day before I competed in my first World Championships in 2008, and you know I'm 30, going on 31 this year, so I've definitely had a lot of experiences, and I think it's really cool that we have me and young girls on the team, and Kennedy Glaze and Kylie Walker, these amazing, awesome young females that are coming up. And they're going to experience that. So it's nice that if I can impart any wisdom or experience to them, then I would gladly do that. But I mean, I think they're just kind of killing it as is, so they're doing good.
It was about 10 years ago when you were here for Beat the Streets, outdoors, Madison, Central Park with the big Times Square.
Yeah.
I get it. I haven't had a concussion lately, but that was an exhibition.
Mm-hmm.
This was best 2 out of 3 for a spot on the world team.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a different wrestling event. But how do you feel about it personally, emotionally? The memory of it. What's that going to be?
I mean, this might fall under one of my favorite Final X's just because it is attached with the Beat the Street event. That is a fundraiser. There's a gala after. It's showcased in New York City, and then you have all the young kids here that are able to watch that benefit from the Beat the Streets program and what they offer. So, and then you're setting world team, right? You're setting all the members on the world team. So, I mean, can't think of an event that can pack much more in than that. That's a lot as is. So, I'm super grateful for everyone that put together this event and Beat the Streets and just Final X and USA Wrestling for putting this together.
Helen, a huge accomplishment tonight, but what are you looking forward to most about the World Championships?
I was going to say winning, but I feel like that's very outcome oriented. So I think I'm just super excited to get after it. I'm healthy. I have a full year really under my belt of being totally healthy and just getting to focus on wrestling, and I have so many things that I'm adding, and I just have the time now and the resources and the coaching and the teammates and everyone to help me, push me, and we're all pushing each other, so I think I'm excited for that journey.
Tell us about your work with Chris Pratt.
Cool. Yeah, so a couple of years ago, Dylan, the director, came to me and reached out about shooting a documentary about the lead up to Tokyo, and I don't think they knew all the ins and outs of what would happen and the depth of the injury and the recovery, but it was really amazing project, and Chris Pratt and his team and Religion of Sports and Indivisible, they all were a part of it, and Reserve Entertainment, so it was crazy. I didn't know it was that big of a project till after the Olympics, and I'm really glad I didn't know, otherwise I think I would have been more nervous, but it came together beautifully. I'm excited.
Kyle Dake says, less Dake bombs because the refs blow it dead, but he wrestles different now because he's older. He said that. I see a little less inside trips out of you. Are you changing how you wrestle as you get older to conserve your body? Are you changing your style at all? Has anything really changed?
Honestly, I tore my MCL last March, so I think that just probably I barely ever drill the inside trip. I don't really go for it because it is that is kind of really going to be on the MCL if you don't do it right. And then also, I mean, in the warm-ups, I saw Alex dislocate her shoulder, so before the second match, and it looked like she's fine, and the doctors came and everything was fine. I think it's something that's been happening, but it was just a reminder for me. Like, I think at this age, it's like I can maybe leave out a move or two and I think still get the job done, but if I get greedy and do something, hurt myself, then you don't even get to go do the job. So I think as you get older, you just get maybe a little wiser and smarter with that, and I think Kyle showed that, in that he always knows how to win, he always knows how to figure it out, and he's just going to be smart about it. So it's like at the end of the day, we do want the gold medals, and you got to be smart about the way you go about that too.
The 2014 event he mentioned, you hit some sick inside trips in Times Square.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember? I mean, they were amazing,
Yeah.
right? They were perfect. The person's head was bouncing off the mat. So it's just with age, right?
No, because if you look at that girl's stance and this girl's stance, Alex kind of copies that like Jakara stance that they're doing at the training center, where everything is like wide legs, low, touch the ground, but really far back. So to inside trip, really you have to really pull the person that back leg to you and either get them to step, or you have to kind of stand them up, or you have to get way low under it. And the lower that you're bending your knees, it's just a matter of if that's the way that you hit it or not. So the move's just not there.
And when the person's in a 3-point burying their hand on the mat, you're not going to inside trip.
I wouldn't say never, but I just, what I felt intuitively was like, she knows that's coming. She's expecting that. I've hit on her before. And And so it's just like, why go? That's not a move that you get out of so easily. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm like, I'm just gonna put 10 points on the board and
Smart.
yeah. So
I like it.
thanks.
Congrats. Thanks.
Congrats.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Helen.
Thanks, guys.